Hello and welcome along to AVFTS Wrexham. I hope you're well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to whenever you're watching this video. Today, I'm going to be discovering and giving you the truth behind Ryan Reynolds and those who were with him in the box yesterday against QPR. A lot of speculation has arose from this situation, and I want to give you the full details behind it, make you make your mind up on what you believe to be the truth, and then go from there, and also why Phil Parkinson must find a win ASAP. As Wrexham manager, he is becoming under enormous pressure, especially with the money that Wrexham has spent this summer. And Phil Parkinson is in desperate need of a win in the EFL Championship. Without further ado, we're going to get into this video. But before so, please make sure to smash a like on this video. Can we get 50 likes? Subscribe to the channel if you're new and turn on your notification bells. Anyone who's got the notification bell on, I will give you a massive shout out in the next video. Let me know if you do. And get in the comment section your thoughts on everything that I'm talking about in today's video. So let's get to the chase. First and foremost, I want to give a massive shout out to Ryan Reynolds, who has done a massive piece of work for charity. And when I say this, he's donated something that has really stunned people. And I'm going to show you the article here now, whether you have seen this or not. It says Hollywood star Ryan Reynolds has stunned fundraisers cash for North Wales teen with cancer. And Ryan Reynolds does what Ryan Reynolds does best, which is give back to the community. And what's happened is that there is a girl called Lexi Collins, a 13-year-old, who has a rare and aggressive cancer of the heart. And Wrexham Police FC are trying to raise money for her. And despite everything, her biggest wish is to visit New York when she's well enough. Her family are trying to raise £20,000 to make that dream a reality. They've already raised 12.5 grand, and Wrexham Police FC hope to raise £5,000 to help towards the funds. Well, none other than and there she is, bless her as well, going for a really, really tough, rare heart cancer, which is so horrible. And yeah, this morning they were left shocked when Reynolds donated £10,000 towards the fund, which is absolutely incredible work by him. And look, it says there a huge thank you to long-time Wrexham Police FC supporter and friend Ryan Reynolds for once again showing his incredible generosity. Lexi will be heading to New York when she's feeling well enough. Not all heroes wear capes. This one wears a red and black suit. Thank you. Bit of a reference there to, of course, now then Deadpool, but a little bit of feel good news to start with Ryan Reynolds, because things like that do need to be noted. Things like that are massive in the community, and why Wrexham are in such amazing hands. So if you hadn't heard about that story, then there we go, a nice piece of work from Ryan Reynolds in the community. But here today's video is about who was Ryan Reynolds with yesterday at the QPR game, in which Wrexham failed to beat QPR at home, losing 3-1. And it was the second game this season that Ryan Reynolds had flown into to watch Wrexham, and he's yet to see them win. Him and Rob Mack will be desperate to not only for Wrexham to get some wins on the boards, but I think they'd like to be there in person to see it as well. So there are two people who have been speculated and, of course, are being mentioned. And none other are two people. The first is, of course, the picture that I was showing you there, and which will be appear on your screen in the thumbnail, is a very famous son. And when I say that, it is, of course, Tom Hanks's son, Colin Hanks. And you can see Colin Hanks there. Doesn't look too much like his dad, but yeah, that is Colin Hanks, Tom Hanks' son. And again, that wasn't really the face that caused speculation, but it's great to see so much Hollywood there at Wrexham. You can even see Colin Hanks has his Wrexham merchandise, and the amount of Hollywood stars who are really sort of attached to Wrexham, have a support of them and real good association with them is amazing to see. Um, and yeah, that was nice that he was there. But however, the main talking point is the guy that I'm about to show you now in the picture. And some of you may or may not be familiar with this person, but he has an incredible background of football, and interestingly is in a coaching role himself at the moment, which I'm going to explain even further. But as you can see on your screen, the person that I'm talking about is this person here, this face here. That is someone called Phil Jones. Now, Phil Jones is actually an ex-Manchester United, ex-Blackburn Rovers player, and of course an England international as well. Now, It's a very weird person to have in Ryan Reynolds' box. And this is where the speculation and story begins. Because Phil Jones is just not a name that you would associate Ryan Reynolds to hang out with. Yes, Hollywood A-listers, I get it. Yes, maybe people in the Wrexham community, the Welsh community, or big international footballers. But Phil Jones is a little bit of a forgotten man. Phil Jones retired early from football because of his lack of playing time and injuries. And although he played for Manchester United, the last couple of years, he was merely just a number and not a player. But why is it that Phil Jones is of interest? Because Phil Jones is someone who is actually already an under 18s coach. And I'm going to show you this now. It says here Jones is and was a Manchester United under 18s coach. So it says here, works as a coach of Man United, made no secret of his presence, with fans confused by his VIP invite to the game. And some speculated Reynolds could be lining him up for a coaching role at the club. The 33-year-old's Manchester United youth team were also in action on Saturday, defeating Burnley 1-0. So this is where the rumours and speculations have started. People are now saying that Ryan Reynolds are having conversations with other potential managerial candidates to take over from Phil Parkinson. Phil Parkinson, of course, as I said at the start of this video, is under the hot seat. But Phil Jones seems such a rogue name to go for. As I said, he's got no managerial experience. He's only been a coach, as I said, at under 18 level. He also isn't exactly a name that will attract massive players coming in because of who he is. Say, for example, where Coventry have Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard, two ex-England players, two massive icons of Chelsea and Liverpool Football Club. They have that pool as players. Phil Jones isn't exactly going to get you major signings through the door. And it's not exactly that Hollywood vibe either. However, it's not to say that this can be a sort of a wild card and a type of route that Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mack go for. An ex-player, younger, modern manager, potentially, is a route. So who knows why he was there? Potentially for a chat, potentially for a conversation, an interview, or maybe just the fact he was there invited because his team was up in that area, neck of the woods of Burnley. I don't know. But that is why there is rumours and speculation. And the truth is, Ryan Reynolds and whoever appears in that box, we should really keep an eye out for it. So the second part is, why does Phil Parkinson need to find a win? It's quite simple and as easy as it sounds. When you have a massive outlay of, as I said, around £33 million spent, you're going to expect answers and you're going to expect results. And 30 new players have come through the door. 5 of them started against QPR yesterday. 5 were on the bench. Danny Ward, George Tomason, and Libby Kakache were ones who excluded. And I feel a little bit sorry for Phil Parkinson, but he's looking at life through a positive sort of, lens, should I say. He's looking at life through a positive lens. He knows that it's not easy to put 13 new players together and just get results and performances. And I get that. And he's actually sort of came out to the media and said, look, I need a bit of time on the training grounds. I want to find a performance like we did at Millwall away, where Wrexham got their first 3 points. And that's what I'm aiming for. But you need to give me time. Now, the big question is, as always, will Ryan Reynolds and Rob Mack give Phil Parkinson the time to use this £33 million plus squad to come together and gel and hopefully results come? Or if more performances like we saw yesterday at home versus QPR happen, then there is going to be that tough decision. And so for me, Phil Parkinson desperately needs that win in the league. Yes, the Carabao Cup has helped him and he's managed to find some good victories in that. But the massive focus is the EFL Championship, where Wrexham really are eyeing those playoffs and getting promoted. So Parky needs a win. He needs to find that winning formula ASAP. And of course, it's going to be tough. And I do fear that the more that we see new people in the Ryan Reynolds executive box, the more we see sort of other faces, the more that speculation will rise. Now, in terms of matches coming up, Wrexham have Norwich City in the league Away, another tough away game, followed by Derby County and Leicester City. It's not easy games on paper. In fact, the next 3 games are pretty tricky, and it's that Derby County one, especially where they need to be targeting 3 points. But Norwich away from home is going to take another massive performance from Phil Parkinsons' Red Dragons, and they're going to need the same that they did against Millwall. So let's see what happens. But as I said, speculation is rising. Rumours, whispers, murmurs. Will Phil Parkinson still be Wrexham manager? Only time will tell. But I'm sure a lot of us are behind him to get these wins, to make changes, and to be the man. Because how poetic would it be from National League to Premier League? Phil Parkinson was the man who did it. It'd be beautiful. Let's hope he gets the happy ending. But things do need to change. I can't beat around the bush here. Parky needs to update some of his tactics, get the players gel, and find wins. I'm out of here, people. I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care. Ta-da.